Attention passionate Atlanta, Falcons fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC South and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Atlanta Falcons' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Atlanta Falcons fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Atlanta, FALCONS. Let's get to the news now, folks, you don't want to miss this. Rumors are swirling, and whispers from the NFL circles suggest that a major move could be on the horizon, one that might just reshape the landscape of the NFC South and give the Falcons a serious boost heading into the 2025 season. And yes, I'm talking about the potential trade of Trey Hedrickson to the Atlanta Falcons. It's a story that's gaining momentum, and I want to break down everything you need to know about why this could be one of the most game-changing moves of the offseason. First off, let's set the scene. The Cincinnati Bengals, a team that's been competitive in recent years, especially with their high-powered offense led by Joe Burrow and a talented receiving core, are now facing a tricky situation with their star defensive end Trey Hedrickson. The big news broke when Adam Schefter reported that the Bengals have taken the rare step of granting Hedrickson permission to seek a trade. That's right, they're open to moving him, which is almost unprecedented for a player of his caliber, especially someone who's been an All-Pro and a league leader in sacks. Hedrickson, a guy who's been nothing short of sensational over the past 2 seasons, has made it clear he's looking for a new contract. He's set to hit free agency in 2026, but he's also expressed his desire for an extension with Cincinnati. Unfortunately, with no deal in place and the Bengals needing to address their salary cap and roster priorities, it looks like they might be willing to part ways. The question is, where could he go? And more importantly for us, could the Falcons be the team to land him? If you look at Hedrickson's stats, they're downright ridiculous. Over the 2023 and 2024 seasons combined, he racked up an astonishing 17.5 sacks. In fact, last year, he led the entire league in sacks, earning himself a well-deserved NFL All-Pro nod. That's no small feat, especially for a defensive end who's consistently wreaked havoc on opposing quarterbacks. And let's not forget, Hedrickson has been a Pro Bowler in each of the last 4 seasons. That kind of consistency is rare, and it's exactly what the Falcons need to bolster their pass rush. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Hedrickson is 30 years old. That's not exactly young in NFL terms. But let's be honest, talent doesn't just disappear overnight, and Hedrickson's production over the last couple of years proves that he's still a dominant force. What makes this even more appealing for Atlanta is that he's a veteran with a proven track record of getting to the quarterback. At a time when the Falcons are looking to take a step forward on defense, adding a player like Hedrickson could be a real game-changer. But here's where things get interesting. The Bengals, with their young superstar duo of Ja'Marr Chase and T. Higgins, have a lot on their plates financially. They're trying to pay their young stars, and Hedrickson's salary demands, combined with his age and the fact that he's set to be a free agent next year, make him a trade chip they might be willing to cash in on. And that's where the Falcons come into the picture. Think about it. Atlanta's defense struggled mightily in 2024. They ranked 9th worst in points allowed per game, giving up nearly 25 points on average. That's an area that clearly needs improvement if the Falcons want to compete at the highest level and make a real push into the playoffs. Last season, Grady Jarrett, the veteran interior presence, had a quiet year with just 2.5 sacks. And while Jarrett has been a reliable player, he hasn't been the dominant force the Falcons need on the edge. Hedrickson, with his ability to rush the passer and his relentless energy, could be exactly what this defense needs to elevate their game. Imagine Hedrickson lining up opposite players like Budda Baker, or even alongside the likes of Troy Anderson, guys who are already emerging as key contributors on the Falcons' defense. His presence could immediately boost the pass rush, forcing quarterbacks to make quicker decisions and opening up opportunities for the secondary to make plays. It's a move that could turn the Falcons' defense from a middling unit into a formidable force that strikes fear into opposing offenses. Of course, the trade package would be a consideration. Realistically, the Bengals might look for a second-round pick, say the 46th overall, and possibly a late-round pick, like the 244th overall in the 7th round. That's a reasonable price for a player of Hedrickson's caliber, especially considering his production and leadership. For the Falcons, giving up a couple of picks sounds like a small price to pay if it means acquiring a proven pass rusher who can make an immediate impact. Now, let's talk about the big picture here. The Falcons have a good offense. With Desmond Ridder developing nicely and a supporting cast that includes Bijan Robinson and Drake London, Atlanta is poised to make some noise in 2025. But defense wins championships, as they say, and adding Hedrickson could be the missing piece that pushes this team over the edge. Picture a defense that can generate pressure without having to blitz excessively, one that can contain the league's top quarterbacks and create turnovers. Hedrickson's ability to get to the quarterback, his 17.5 sacks over 2 seasons, demonstrates his knack for making game-changing plays. Plus, his experience and leadership could be invaluable in the locker room, especially for a relatively young defense still finding its identity. And it's not just about this season. The Falcons are building something long-term. They've got young talent on both sides of the ball, and a veteran presence like Hedrickson could help accelerate their growth. He's a player who knows how to perform under pressure, and his arrival could set a tone for the entire defense. Imagine him and Grady Jarrett working together to dominate the line of scrimmage. Opposing offenses would have a hard time keeping up. But what about the Falcons' cap space? Well, Atlanta has been smart with their financial planning. They have enough room to make a move if they choose to pursue Hedrickson. And with the right restructuring or negotiations, they could fit him into their plans without hampering their flexibility for future signings or extensions. It's all about making the right strategic move at the right time, and this trade could be exactly that. So, what does all this mean for the Falcons and their fans? It means a chance to significantly upgrade the pass rush, to add a proven playmaker who can change the course of games. It's about building a defense that complements the offensive firepower they already have. And it's about making a bold statement in the NFC South that the Falcons are back in the hunt, ready to challenge the division and go deep into the playoffs. There's a lot of talk about other teams making big moves this offseason, but the Falcons have a real opportunity here. If they can pull off this trade, it might just be the move that turns their season around. NFC South is always competitive, but with Hedrickson's addition, Atlanta could be the team to watch. They could finally overcome their defensive struggles from last year and take a giant leap forward, making life miserable for quarterbacks and helping their secondary to be much more aggressive. And let's not forget, the NFL is a league that's built on star power and game changers. Hedrickson is one of those players. He's a guy who can make the difference between a good defense and a dominant one. For the Falcons, acquiring him isn't just about filling a roster spot. It's about making a statement that they're committed to winning now, not just building for the future. As fans, we love these kinds of stories, when a team takes a bold step, shakes things up, and positions itself for success. And if the Falcons can get Hedrickson, it's going to send a message to everyone in the league. Atlanta is serious about contending, and they won't settle for mediocrity. So, what's next? Well, keep an eye on the rumors, the official reports, and the player movements as the offseason unfolds. The Falcons are clearly exploring their options, and a trade for Hedrickson could be imminent. It's a move that could define their 2025 campaign, and I, for one, am excited to see how it all plays out. And now, Atlanta Falcons fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this potential trade? Do you think Hedrickson is the right guy to push this team into the next level? Would you be willing to give up a couple of draft picks for a player of his caliber? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Atlanta Falcons. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Atlanta Falcons news. We're in the off-season now, but the excitement is just beginning. Thanks for sticking with me, and as always, go Falcons.